Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I have discussed some of the important 1 marks questions from the chapter The Voyage by Dr. Bhupen Hazarika. So let's begin the video. Assam at the time of the narrator's scholarship. So the answer will be Gopinath Bordoloi. Okay, তো যোনটো সময়ত ভূপেন হাজৰিকা স্কলাৰশ্বিপটো পাইছিলে আমেৰিকাত ষ্টাডি কৰিবৰ কাৰণে তেতিয়া গোপীনাথ বৰদলৈ কি আছিল চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰ আছিল আৰু এটা কোৱেশ্চন হ'ব পাৰে গোপীনাথ বৰদলৈ হেল্প কৰিছিল হি হেল্প হিম টু একুৱায়াৰ দ্য স্কলাৰশ্বিপ এজ ৱেল ওকে তো এইটো মনত ৰাখিব নামটো নেক্সট হু ৱাজ দ্য নেৰেটৰ্ছ কলিগ এট অল ইণ্ডিয়া ৰেডিঅ'ত নেৰেটৰে কাম কৰিছিল কেইদিনমান চ' হু ৱাজ দ্য কলিগ দেৰ তেখেতৰ লগত তাতে কাম কৰা মানুহজনৰ নাম কোন আছিলে বন্ধুজনৰ নাম কোন আছিলে সেইটো হ'ব ছায়েদ আব্দুল মালিক Next, which pastor prepared the research curriculum for the narrator? Narrator যে বাহিৰত পঢ়িব কাৰণে গৈছিলে তো he required a curriculum. Okay, so that curriculum was prepared by a pastor and the name of the pastor was Robert Brown. Please remember it. Next, which city was the narrator's flight destination after Guwahati? Guwahatir pisot narrator kuntu jagat jabo ulaisil. Guwahatir pora kot jabo ulaisil. So the name of the place is Dumdum, which is situated in West Bengal, Calcutta. Next, what was the city where the narrator was scheduled to stay for 2 days before boarding the ship to France? France ship di joar agote tekhete kuntu city dudin rokhibo and that city is Colombo, okay, which is in Sri Lanka. Next, what was the name of the airport in Guwahati at that time? Guwahati thoka airport or naam to ki asile? It is Kahikuchi. Question number 7, where does the narrator have the feeling of leaving Assam and Eastern India? আসাম আৰু ইষ্টাৰ্ণ ইণ্ডিয়া যেতিয়া এৰি যাব ওলাইছিল তেতিয়া তেখেতে কোনটো চহৰত থাকোতে নেৰেটৰৰ এইটো ফিলিং আহিছিল that he is going to leave Assam and Eastern India. It is Calcutta. Calcuttar পৰা যেতিয়া প্লেনত বোৰ্ড হৈছিলে তেতিয়া he had a feeling that I am leaving Assam and Eastern India. Next, where does the narrator have the feeling of leaving India? Now, in which place narrator has the feeling that he is going to leave India, and that is Vishakhapatnam, because after Vishakhapatnam he is directly going to land in Sri Lanka, Colombo, right? Next, which ancient city does the narrator have an opportunity to visit which is home to Tooth Relic? Tooth Relic is a temple, okay, Buddhist temple. Now, which city had the temple of Tooth Relic? It is Candi, which is in Sri Lanka. Next, which dance is performed in Sri Lanka in case of any illness or mental issue? Okay, so very important. So during the time of illness and mental issue, there is a kind of folk dance that is performed there, and the name of the dance is Yakuma Natum. Please do remember this and do also by heart a short note on Yakuma Natum because it may come in the examination as well of 2 marks, right? Next, question number 11, in which city did the narrator buy a Rolleiflex camera? So he bought during his journey he bought a Rolleiflex camera. Now, where did he buy this Rolleiflex camera? It was in Aden. Okay, the place actually was Port of Aden. Port mane asile jot ship to rokhisil rokha thai bilako port buli koy aru Port of Adenot tekhete ki korisil Rolleiflex camera to kinisile. What country was Djibouti a part of? Djibouti kuntu country part asile where he saw that it is not yet developed, right? So a to part asile Italian Somaliland. What is the name of the French army personnel who the narrator meets on board? So তার পৰা কলম্বোৰ পৰা যেতিয়া শিপ টু ললে towards France, now he met a army personnel. Now what was the name of the army personnel? It was Andres, who actually worked in army, right? And he was returning to home after his services in the army. Which place did the author mention where the saffron robbed monks reminded him of non-violence? So he also met saffron robbed monks in a place. Now you have to name the place. Okay, the place is Temple of the Tooth Relic, which is in Candi. Next, in which country does the author find the drawing room of modern family to be similar to Shillong? So in a country he found a drawing room which is very similar. He found many similarities in that house of the drawing room with Shillongor logot bahut similarity paisile, and that house is situated in Lanka, okay, where the western music is played, where the wall had a picture of Mother Mary, right? So he find it very much similar to the drawing room, any drawing room in Shillong, and that is an example of how Christianity was capturing the people, how people were converting to Christianity, okay, Shillong as well as in Sri Lanka. Next, which ocean does the author watch through the cabin window? So in from his cabin window uh, of his flight, he watched an ocean. Now, what is the name of the ocean? It was in Indian Ocean, on over which he was flying towards Sri Lanka. Next, in what year did the narrator's journey begin? Kuntu year narrator journey to begin korisil? So it was in 1949. How much was the fare from Guwahati to Dumdum? Guwahati pura Dumdum fare to kiman asile? It was 55 rupees at that time. Now, what was the name of the ship from Colombo to Marseille? So from Colombo to Marseille, Marseille is a city in France. So what was the name of the city? What was the name of the ship that he was boarding towards France? It is SM Semponio. Okay, remember this name, SM Semponio. Next, question number 20. What item did the narrator forget at the Guwahati airport? So while boarding his flight from Guwahati airport, suddenly he remembered that he forgot something behind. Now, what was that item? The item was his bag containing passport, dollars, tickets, etc. Right? You need to write the complete sentences. I have here just written the answers, but do not write the same in your examination. Please write in full sentences. Otherwise, you won't get the marks. Right? There is a very important point that you remember while answering alternative English question, that you need to write more here. Okay, there is no word limit here, so you need to write as much as possible in your answers. Okay, next. Question number 21. What event did the narrator compose a song for at the governor's request? So there was a event, okay, where in governor's request he had to compose a song. Now, what was that event? The inauguration to the airport celebrating the victory march of science. So the airport Kahikuchi, it was inaugurated. Okay, and at the time of inauguration, Bhupen Hazarika was there, and at the request of the governor, please also remember the name of the governor at that time. At the request of the governor, he had to compose a song. Okay, so the event is inauguration of the airport celebrating the victory march of science. Next, what news did the narrator hear in Cairo? So he reached Cairo, okay, a city in Greece. Now, in Cairo, he got to hear a news, and the news was Mao Zedong's long march had succeeded. So he got the news there that in China, Mao Zedong's long march had succeeded. Okay, the march that Mao Zedong's embarked, it was at last succeeded. Okay, what are astronomical event that the narrator witnessed at sea? So narrator, while in his journey in sea, he witnessed an astonishing sight, astonishing scene. Now, what was that? The sign is a star above the holy crescent moon of the Muslim. So very rare sight that he got to witness. It is the holy crescent moon, above which there he saw a star is aligning. Okay, which is called a very holy thing, very holy scene, according to very divine scene according to Muslim community. Next, the narrator compares his journey to what historical event? So narrator compare his journey to a historical event, and the event is Mao Zedong's long march. Okay. Next, what concept does the narrator discuss in relation to those who went to America? So some people at that time used to shift to America. Now, what was the concept that he mentioned there? The concept of brain drain. Okay, where the smartest people from our country actually shifted to America. So the brain, the knowledge actually drained from India at that time. Next, what does the flower given to the narrator by his younger sister symbolize? So his younger sister gave him a flower. Now, what was that flower symbolize? Love, home, and Assam. Right? Next, what is the significance of the phrase Chairavati Chairavati? So he mentioned Chairavati Chairavati, a Sanskrit sloka during his journey. Now, what was the meaning of the Chairavati Chairavati? So the meaning of Chairavati Chairavati is keep going, keep going. Okay, you should not stop. You have to continue with your journey. Next, the narrator mentions the name of a Hindu god to imply the distance between his home and Candi. Who is he? So while in Sri Lanka, in Candi, he mentions a Hindu god, okay, in order to imply the distance between India and Sri Lanka. Now, what was the name of the god? It was Hanumanta. Okay, because Hanumanta jumped from India to Sri Lanka. Okay, he flew from India to Sri Lanka according to the epic Ramayana. Next, which phrase from Natya Shastra is applied in Lanka according to the narrator? So he also mentioned the book Natya Shastra in the story, okay, in his autobiography. Now, why does this Natya Shastra is mentioned and related to what? Okay, so he mentioned a phrase from Naट्यशास्त्र, and the phrase is yato hasta sato drishti sato manaha sato bhaba sato rasha. Please remember this phrase, it is going to be very important, it might come in the examination, that what did narrator mention from Naट्यशास्त्र pura ki mention korisile. Okay, so you have to remember this phrase. Now question number 30, why were the Lankans worried about India? Now why Lankans worried about India? He mentioned that Lankans were very worried about India, and there was some hatred between Lankans and Indians. And why was that? It was about economic exploitation. There was economic and political exploitation, but here specifically it was mentioned that it was economic exploitation. Next, which food item reminds the narrator of his grandmother? Now he remembers his grandmother. Now what was the item that he remembers? Food item that he remembers? It was actually kalmo sak. Okay, a traditional sak prepared in Assam. Next, who does the narrator refer to with the term Jyoti Kokaidev? Now he mentioned the name Jyoti Kokaidev at the very beginning of the prose. Now who he referred to as Jyoti Kokaidev? The name is implied to respected elder, a figure or blessings. Here Jyoti Prasad Agarwala. You can also write the name of Jyoti Prasad Agarwala as well. Okay, Jyoti Prasad Agarwala, whom he called as Jyoti Kokaidev. Next, who received the narrator at Calcutta airport? Now when he reached Calcutta airport at Dum, who received him? He is one of his friend Bhupen Das, who actually worked in the film industry in Calcutta. Okay, next, whom did the narrator travel to the airport with? Narrator e kar logot travel korisile airport loike ba airport kune tekhetok thobo ahisile. So kun ahisil? His mother, father, his sister Queen, whose actual name was Sudakshina Sharma, Mahi, and Jayanta Hazarika. Jayanta Hazarika was his brother. Okay, younger brother. Next, who does the narrator suggest were getting their children married before going to America? So he also suggested that some of the people in India actually married their children before sending their sons to America. Now who were they? Actually they were the rich people. Okay, because at that time what happened, when somebody goes to America, they used to settle there and they never used to return to America. So before leaving the country, their parents used to marry them, right? Next, 36. The phrase tiger-like personality is an example of what literary device? So here he mentioned tiger-like personality. Okay, now what is the literary device that he used in order to refer to that person? Okay, it is actually simile. So now remember simile. It is very easy to remember. Simile is a comparison. When you compare one person with another, and you compare by using the word as or like. তো য'ত তোমালোকে এজ বা লাইক দেখা পাবা তাৰ মানে ইয়াতে কি ইউজ হৈছে, সিমিলি ইউজ হৈছে। আৰু য'ত এজ আৰু লাইক নাই কিন্তু তথাপিও কম্পেয়াৰ কৰিছে, সেইটো হৈ যাব কি মেটাফৰ, ৰাইট? এই লিটারেরি ডিভাইস কেটা কিন্তু এক্সামত আহে, যে হোয়াট ইজ দ্য লিটারেরি ডিভাইস ইউজড ইন দ্য লাইন অর হোয়াট ইজ দ্য লিটারেরি ডিভাইস ইউজড ইন দ্য স্ট্যান্জা। পয়েমৰ পৰা আহিব পাৰে, প্ৰোজৰ পৰা আহিব পাৰে। তো সিমিলি হ'ব লাগিলে কি হ'ব লাগিব, আমি এজ বা লাইক নোটিস কৰিব লাগিব যে এজ বা লাইক আছে নে নাই, আৰু মেটাফৰ হ'ব লাগিলে কম্পেৰিজন হ'ব লাগিব, কিন্তু এজ বা লাইক থাকিব নালাগিব। ওকে, তো নেক্সট, হোয়াট ইজ দ্য ইম্প্যাক্ট অফ দ্য narrator's personal anecdotes on the next? Okay, so narrator has a personal anecdotes. Anecdotes means story. So what is the impact of that anecdotes? It adds authenticity and emotional depth. So these stories actually adds authenticity, that he was actually telling the truth, and his emotional attachment to the people and to his country. Okay, next, how would you describe the tone of the passage when the narrator leaves India? So when the narrator was leaving India on his flight, now what is the tone that expresses his feelings? The tone here is melancholy and reflective. So he was melancholy means sad. It actually reflects that he is very sad, or he is very distressed to leave his country. It is very painful for him. And it was also reflective means he also got to know his identity, true identity, that he called himself throughout these years that he is an Assamese, but while in Vishakhapatnam he remembered that he is not only Assamese but he is an Indian as well, right? Next, which literary device does the author employ to convey his anxiety? So suddenly the author felt anxiety. Now what is the literary device he used to express that anxiety? It was rhetorical question. Rhetorical question means he asked questions, okay, whether I am an Indian, whether I am an Swiss, whether I am a global citizen. So this uses his anxiety. He wanted to know, he wanted to express his feelings. Okay, next, question number 40. Give a word to describe author's writing in this excerpt. So what is the kind of writing that can be found in this excerpt? It is autobiographical. The whole prose is autobiographical. He is describing about his own journey, that is autobiographical. Next, what does the narrator mean when he says he wants to learn about form, not content? So when the narrator mentions at the beginning that he is going to America to learn form, not content, what does it actually means? It means structure and organization, how to structure a film, how to organize a film, right? Because he also mentions that there is no lack of content in Assam. Okay, he is going to learn the form there. Next, why did the narrator select his route? Narrator kyo a route to select korisil? As he intended to visit, answer hobo, as he intended to visit the countries which lay on his way to America, because he also wanted to visit other countries which is on the path of his journey, and that is why he took the journey. First flight, okay, flight di goisile from Guwahati to Calcutta, Guwahati to Calcutta. Then from Calcutta he again took a flight to Vishakhapatnam. Then from Vishakhapatnam he took another flight to the city of Colombo. Now from Colombo he boarded SM Semponio, and he was heading towards France. Now, while heading towards France, he had to stop at many places. For example, he had to stop at Aden. He had to stop for a little while in Djibouti Island. Okay, he had to stop at Cairo. So you have to remember these names. So all these places he stopped and he visited those places in order to learn about the culture of those countries, right? Next, what does the narrator desire to return home suggest about his values? So during his journey he also desires that he is not going to stay in America or settled in America unlike the others rich kids at that time. So what does it express? It expresses strong connection to his homeland. To expresses what? যে তেখেতৰ হোমলেণ্ডৰ লগত বহুত deep connection আছিলে, নিজৰ দেশক সি বহুত ভাল পাইছিলে. What is the implication of the brain drain? So what is the term brain drain had an implication in Indian people? Okay, so answer would be loss of talent from the narrator's country. তো ইয়াৰ ইফেক্টটো কি আছিলে যে আমাৰ কান্ট্ৰিৰ পৰা কি হৈ গৈছিল, বহুত টেলেন্টেড মানুহবিলাক হেৰাই গৈছিলে, ব্ৰেইন ড্ৰেইনৰ কাৰণে তেওঁলোকে বেলেগ কান্ট্ৰিত শিফ্ট হৈ গৈছিল. নেক্সট 45, what does the narrator's reaction to seeing the Assam Tribune indicate? So while in his flight from Vishakhapatnam to Colombo, suddenly he noticed the newspaper from Assam, the Assam Tribune, among the other newspapers. So he suddenly felt a sense of feelings, nostalgia about his own native land, own homeland. Now what is the narrator's reaction? It was actually, I already told you, it is a sense of nostalgia for home, that is Assam. Next, why does the narrator tend to feel that it is weakness to eat kalmo sak when reminded of Hanumanta? Okay, so while he remembered about Hanumanta, so it is a weakness to eat kalmo sak. Now what does it mean? It suggests that the author is reminiscing the older times. It suggests that he used to remember when his grandmother used to cook kalmo sak and he used to eat it. So it suggests he actually recalling the older time about his childhood. Next, question number 47, what is the meaning of Yakuma Natum? What is the meaning of Yakuma Natum? It is a folk dance in Sri Lanka, okay, which he witnessed while staying in Colombo, right? The folk dance Yakuma Natum means demon dance, okay, it is a demon dance, right? And it is similar to Assam's Deodhani Nritya. okay, which is found in Kamrupa. Okay, next he also found similarities of this dance with Garba and Manipuri Rasa, right? Next, question number 48. Burqa is a reference to which religion in the passage? So he mentioned the word Burqa. Now, Burqa is religion to which religion? Actually, it is Islam. Next, name some of the places that are mentioned in the passage to be similar to Sarnath or Bodh Gaya. So while he is traveling towards America, so he mentioned two places of India, Sarnath and Bodh Gaya. Now, which place is similar to Sarnath and Bodh Gaya? It is actually the city of Candi. Now, what is the similarity that he found? The monasteries. Buddhist monasteries or monks, where he got to listen to the chants of Buddhist mantras, that is Buddham Charanam Gacchami, and he remembered about the city, about the two places in India, which is Sarnath and Bodh Gaya, which has the similar kind of essence, similar kind of vibes, right? Next, what does the author mention a local term to be ojha? So he mentioned the local term ojha, okay, during mentioning, while mentioning about the dance form. Now, what does this ojha refer to? Ojha refer to actually the lead dancer of Devdhani Nritya. Okay, the lead dancer of Devdhani Nritya is called ojha, and the English term for ojha is lead dancer, right? So these are some of the important questions, 50 questions from the chapter The Voyage, which is really going to be helpful for your coming examination. Please study them. Also study 2 marks questions from this chapter. It is very important chapter, and many questions will come from here, okay, because it is related to Assam. So there are chances that many questions from 1 marks, 2 marks, and 5 marks questions might come from this chapter. So please do study them. And if you want complete summary of this prose, then I have also uploaded a complete thorough summary before your examination. If you want to watch it, I am going to link it down in the description box, so you go and watch the video. Okay, so thank you very much for watching my video. So this is all the important question from the chapter The Voyage, and if you want the complete summary of the voyage, I have made a separate video on it. I will link it down in the description box. Please go and check the video. So thank you very much again for watching my video.